incredibly new and fresh and exciting. So you were young, 26-ish when you made this?
When we made the film, I was 29 and Harry Dean was 58. So he was exactly twice my age. He reminded me several times during the process.
So this just feels like such a movie that a young person would have to make. Do you feel like you would be able to make a film like this today, like with that kind of energy? Or would it just be a different kind of experience?
Well, weirdly enough, the rights to the screenplay and and remakes and sequels revert to me as the author of the film in 3.5 years' time. So in 3.5 years' time, we can find out, right? but I think the difference would be the trade of the Repo Man now is, this is kind of like almost a cowboy film, and now it would veer into the science fiction, because given that most people driving new cars have cars with like mega computers on board, and you know, that are also connected to the World Wide Web, so the car can report back to the manufacturer or contact the emergency services or whatever. The Repo Men now have the opportunity just to shut down your car at will, you know, or to slam the brakes on while you're driving, or turn the engine off, or whatever they want. So a new Repo Man film, or a sequel to Repo Man, would be more of a computer-oriented desk job. You know?
That sounds exciting.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah,
sign up.
Sign up. So you knew some Repo Men, and that was kind of what sparked this, right?
I had a neighbor who was a Repo Man, whose name was Mark Lewis, and he took me on various repo excursions. And if I was lucky, like Otto, I would get paid $25 to drive the car back to the lot after we repossessed it. And so a lot of the dialogue that Harry Dean said in the film was actually the authentic dialogue of Mark, the original Repo Man. All that stuff about, you know, only an asshole gets killed for a car. Look at all these people. If only we could find out how much money they owe and make them pay, you know. And they're really poor people, you know. But he was in that world.
So this to me is one of the ultimate LA movies. I mean, this is kind of the LA that you don't often see in films, and you know, Watts and South Central, etc. So you're an Englishman, and so do you feel like coming from outside gave you sort of a different perspective on LA than maybe a lot of other filmmakers had?
Yeah, I think that's possible. If you think about, you know, the movie Point Blank, you know, which is a really good movie that's set both in LA and the Bay Area, that John Borman did, and he's another limey, and that's really a cool and very well put together film. But about LA, I didn't know I was making a film about LA because Los Angeles was the only American city I'd been to, really. And so I just thought all American cities were like that. You know? Interchangeable.
So this is often called sort of a dystopian view of Los Angeles. I mean, it seems like everything's working pretty well for people in whatever field they're in. I mean, do you think it's dystopian? It seems like it's maybe utopian.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because there's a guy called, you know, Mike Davis's book, City of Quartz? It's a good book, huh? And I was really upset because when I read that book, there was no, you know, he talks about movie visions of the dystopia of Los Angeles. He never mentions Repo Man. And I was so